For this video, I'll be going over who wins between Featherine, the strongest witch, and Ren Amamiya, otherwise known as Joker. If you guys have any other versus battle requests, I'll try to fulfill them within my capabilities. But yeah, let's just hop right into it. I'll go over Featherine first. In Umineko, there are infinite higher dimensions. Via Schrodinger's cat theory, probably butchered the hell out of that. These dimensions also have qualitative superiority, as something infinite in a lower dimension isn't infinite in a higher one, showing higher infinities to exist. Specifically, there's the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension represents all possible possibilities. In the fifth dimension, all possible things are in all possible states that an object can exist in. Therefore, the fifth dimension itself can take on any dimensional form. And again, this is only the fifth dimension, and there are infinite higher dimensions in this. So just the fifth dimension alone should be boundless, specifically infinite layers into boundless. There is also an infinite hierarchy of mirrors governing binary opposition, with each mirror itself representing a binary digit, where the first is 0 and the second is 1, and each mirror transcends the previous one, being an inaccessible hierarchy of mirrors where something infinite in a lower mirror is non-existence to a higher one. So these mirrors inaccessibly transcend each other. Binary opposition itself, it essentially highlights the contrast between two opposing ideas or concepts, such as good and evil, logic and illogical, possible and impossible, things of that nature. And there's the infinity mirror concept, which revolves around two parallel mirrors, creating an endless regression, with each mirror holding its own infinite hierarchy. So even going back to the mirrors that govern binary opposition, which should be above the fifth dimension, which holds all possible dimensional forms. And the binary mirrors hierarchies would be above that. And then beyond that is the infinity mirror. These mirrors also continue infinitely, forming a hierarchy of mirrors, being a boundless transcendence perpetually recreating itself. And there are still layers that see this as fiction. And then you get to the witch's domain, which is inaccessibly above the human domain, and sees them as fiction, viewing the human domain as pieces on a chessboard. And in the witch's domain, Beatrice can create fragments of worlds containing all possibilities in her cat box. This is similar to something called modal realism, which holds the idea that all possibly logical worlds can exist, and that all worlds exist independently with their own unique set of events, objects, and properties. Since all possibly logical worlds exist, and the tiering system is logical, that means the tiering system would exist as a possible world. Then there's something that's called extended modal realism, which counts for the illogical world, where all possible illogical worlds can exist. But these worlds that Beatrice can create beyond logical and illogical things, as binary opposition exists in the human domain. And Berncastle's cat box transcends Beatrice's cat box, viewing hers as fiction. And since I don't think I have to get my point across any further of how ridiculously broken this is, Featherine transcends all of this and sees this as fiction. A mere piece of paper, to be specific. So how does Joker stand up to this? If I'm going to be honest, not very well. But to explain why I believe that, I'll go over his scaling. Joker beat a character named Adam Kedmon. To be more specific, it's persona, but either way, he beat him. And Adam was going to make all of existence into his cognition. To explain what a cognition is, I need to explain what the metaverse is. The metaverse is a place that holds palaces made from human cognition. And in Persona, human minds are infinite. And in the metaverse, something called mementos exists, which are equal to collective unconsciousness or archetypes, with there being infinite realities in a collective unconsciousness. And these collective unconsciousness are made up of archetypes, which are infinite. They're infinite archetypes in a collective unconsciousness, and they're thought of as tier 0 concepts and ideals. I'm not going to explain why they're tier 0, but I will leave the VSBW forum where the guy explains why they're tier 0 in the comment section. These collective consciousness can transcend to reaching higher levels of consciousness, and all this should scale to a singular palace because a singular palace holds a memento. The metaverse is also transfinite, and since it's built on human cognition, all logically possible worlds should exist, and I've already explained why modal realism is boundless. Humans are also illogical, therefore the cognitive world should also have illogical worlds, as well as logical ones, so this should be modal realism. And again, Adam Kadmon was going to make this all his cognition. He even refused mementos with reality, with him being the ideal that all should strive towards, being the strongest thing the Phantom Thieves have ever faced at that time, and he is the source and destination of existence, being the light that guides humanity. And Joker beat him. So who do I think wins between Ren and Featherine? Well, from what I've shown and provided, I hope you understand why I believe Featherine full as Joker, and I don't really believe he has any possible way of beating her, though I could be wrong, as I am not omniscient. But with that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and peace out, everybody.